Treatment tonight with Dame Edna, flamboyant female tycoon Ivana Trump, singing songwriting sensation Katie Lang, and Irish naughty boy James Nesbitt.
She's a Jane icon. She's an angel of light from above. She's poetry in motion. She's a rock in an ocean of love. Some give us the Edna treatment, a world exclusive magazine.
Celebrating 50 years, it's Dame Edna Everett.
She's a June icon. She's an angel of light from above. She is poetry in motion. She's a rock in an ocean of love. So give us the Edna treatment in a world exclusive mega-spa.
Thank goodness the forces of gravity let me down gently. That rather ridiculous over-the-top entrance wasn't my idea. It was the network's idea, and I had to go along with it because it's about the only idea they've ever had. Oh, but here at my hugely successful and exclusive celebrity spa, I've allowed the cameras in one more time, Possums. It's a special night for me, of course. Because it's the climax of a wonderful, wonderful year of festivities all over the world, celebrating my 50 years in show business, and where would I be? Where would I be without my lovely Ednarettes? My Ednarettes, and of course, my right-hand man, my veteran tickler of the ivories, and nearly as well preserved as I am, Laurie Holloway! Hello, Laurie.
Hello, Dame Edna. Congratulations on 50 fabulous years. And may I also say...
Laurie, you can't say, darling. You've said quite enough. You're building up your parts, you darling. But who's that spooky man over there?
Dame Edna, it's me, Robin Gibb.
Robin Gibb! Wow! Robin Gibb of the Bee Gees, Possums.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Robin?
Well, Edna, I actually sang the theme song that you made your entrance to.
Why did you? We've got a perfectly good recording of it. Do you know it?
Well, actually, I specially wrote it for you.
He wrote it! My theme music composed by the Bee Gees.
Well, it's my voice that's actually on the record.
Well, that's lovely. It's so thrilling.
I've written a special verse, actually, to celebrate your 50th anniversary.
Well, I'm wondering if we've got time to hear it. Do you want to hear it, Wadey?
She's a saint, she's a star from heaven. We can bathe in her afterglow. She's a woman for all seasons. She's the gold at the end of the rainbow. Salute Dame Edna Everett on the 50th anniversary show.
Thank you, Dame Edna.
Thank you. Robin, that was beautiful. I'd love to stand here and chew the fat with you, but unfortunately I've got more important things to do tonight. Now, my darling, would you take Mr. Gibb away and introduce him to the gorgeous little Tom Lee Gibb? and ask her to give him a little Thai massage and make sure the ending is a happy one. Parsons, my first patient tonight was born under the brutal heel of communism, and she grew into a great Slavic beauty. She went to America. She fell in love with a man with the worst comb-over in history. That's all behind her now. Please welcome someone who idolizes me and whom I don't mind in the least. It's Ivana Trump.
Takes me longer and longer every morning.
This meeting...
What did they trick me?
This meeting between us has been a long time coming.
A long time.
You and me have got so much to share, Ivana. I don't know
Thank
where
you.
to begin. We're like twins. Our feminine rhythms are in sync, Ivana. Do you feel that too sometimes?
Yeah, okay. You are gorgeous, okay? You're fantastic, you are fun, you know. I think a happy anniversary.
Oh, thank
I
you,
really
my
appreciate
dear
it.
woman.
50 years! Excuse me. No. I don't think it's anniversary. I think it's your birthday.
Well,
You know,
no, it isn't. It is a kind of anniversary in my world.
Never
my
older than
theatre.
28, right? It's going to
Well,
take
I'm
us
feeling-
longer and longer every morning to look the way we are, right?
Yes, I'm sure I understood that, darling. Now, looking at you now, and you are looking so lovely, Ivana, and
Thank
such
you.
a lovely colour that is. I'm looking at you. There's hardly a wrinkle on your face. There's not a great deal of movement either, but... No.
No, it's called maintenance. It's called maintenance, okay?
Do you use your own lovely beauty products, by the way?
Definitely do.
Yes,
I would
well,
not be foolish if I would not say so.
What is
But-
your range called?
It's a House of Ivana.
I've got some of your lovely products, and I
Thank
found
you.
them wonderful.
Thank
I
you.
have my own range,
Okay.
so I have to be a bit loyal to that. They're
Okay.
called Mother's Spit products. I use little precious droplets harvested from my mother's prolific duct. And there are enzymes, emollients in my mother's saliva, which really are so
That must
beneficial.
be a really secret recipe, okay? Because I missed on that one.
Ivana, let's start at the beginning. Where did you meet Donald Trump?
We met, I was with about 8 models. We were promoting Olympic Games in Montreal. I'm my personal Olympian. I was 7th in downhill in Sapporo, so I'm an athlete. I don't look like. I always say I don't do the sport I cannot do in stilettos, but believe me, I'm a sporty
Was there a
person.
bar called
but-
Maxwell's Plum?
That's right. You know, we met up there and we went with the girls and
Maxwell's Plum is a
Was that-
funny name, isn't it, for a bar?
it's rather funny. So we're standing there waiting for our table, and then suddenly there's a young man which put a hand on my shoulder. And I clap my hand, I look around, and there is this young man, and he said, girls, you are waiting for the table. I'm very good friend of owner, and I'm going to make sure you get the table here fast. So I look at my girlfriends, and I say, girls, I have a good news and I have a bad news. They say, what is the good news? I said, good news is we're going to get a table. What is the bad news? This guy is definitely going to sit with us. And he didn't pay the bill too.
Can I ask, was his hair like it is now? There.
You know what? I'm not going to go into that because I did cut it for 17 years. He doesn't let anybody to touch his hair. And we had to leave it at that. Otherwise, I've had World War III, okay?
I'm so much reminded of my late husband, Norm. I had a wonderful husband. Did you ever meet him by any chance?
I would.
If you liked Donald Trump, you would have adored my husband. They had a lot in common, except, of course, Norm wasn't rich and ruthless, but they share similar top knots. Look,
Okay.
here's an early picture of my husband. Now, look, there's a similarity. It's uncanny, isn't it, Ivana? Uncanny.
I love the jewels. Perfect.
I think we go for the same type of man, Ivana. You just think that you could have married Norm, and then you'd be sitting where I'm sitting now. Or if I'd had an unsuccessful marriage, I'd be where you are now. Isn't that spooky? My husband wasn't terribly rich. He really wasn't worth divorcing, but he was a lovely person. But, Possums, there are going to be more very exciting revelations and discussions between me and Ivana Trump after this important comfort stop. Welcome back, and divulging with me is the gorgeous Ivana Trump. Ivana, we were talking briefly about money, financial settlements. You put it to good use. Whatever you had, whatever you earned, you put to good use. You helped others. More important, like me, you helped yourself a little. And it's lovely just talking to Ivana Trump. I feel ridiculously relaxed talking to you.
Nice,
I'm comfortable in my own skin. I am. You've had a little work done, haven't you?
How about you? Okay, let's start from you. Okay.
Well, let's say you're
drop it,
comfortable
okay?
in someone else's skin, Ivana.
That's right.
I mean, you look healthy, and you've
Thank
got a
you.
fitness regime, haven't you? What is it, your fitness regime?
What I do, not like a lot of people, they don't like exercising. I love it because that's my background. I'm fortunate to have a gym in my home, and I'm fortunate to be disciplined enough to actually work out. And I do work up, every day. I love it, and it's easy.
You make me envious.
Yeah.
I have a secret. I have a regular exploratory. I do.
Sounds mean, okay?
I do, and my gynecologist is here tonight. Dr. Iglesias, where are you? Hands up. Oh. There he is.
That's me.
And not the first time today either, Doctor, I suppose. I always choose an older man as a gynecologist. His hand shakes a little, but that's not necessary. That's not a drawback. Not a drawback.
And now you just got to deal with it, okay?
Do you travel with a gynecologist as I do?
Definitely not. I travel with younger men.
I have a feeling you. Oh, by the way, before I forget, thanks for your invitation to that lovely party in Saint-Tropez.
Absolutely.
And here's my RSVP.
Okay. Okay, that's a bit terrible. Okay.
I won't be coming, unfortunately, but I've double booked. You know, that pushy little Nelson Mandela. He wants to commit a few atrocities with me.
Okay.
He won't take no, I'm afraid. But who's accepted invitations to a party?
I will not name, but there are a lot of friends which you know, which were on your show many, many times. And this Mandela, what a pest. I mean, he should really let you come. Come on.
If I can bump him, I'll come and see you. I'd much rather. Ivana, you're an author. You write books. You've written quite a few books. You're a Renaissance woman. Occasionally, you use a ghostwriter. Do you have a ghost?
What I did, the first two books, which were novels, For Love Alone, Free to Love, I had a writer, and I would spend about 2-3 days, each day, systematically for about 8 months, and I would go and I talk. Then she would write it down, and then we would talk. Then it was a scarf floating in the air. You go and fill up another 200 pages. In any event, it was a great experience, but it was really experience from my life and my talking and my thoughts.
I employ a ghostwriter because I'm publishing a fearless autobiography, no holds barred. It's going to reveal a tell-all book. And I have my ghostwriter with me here tonight. You don't mind if he records our conversation a little bit, do you?
Not a problem.
No. Well, bring on my ghost, please. Possums, it's my biographer, Jeffrey Archer!
What an honour for me.
Look, Ivana Trump. Wonderful, Jeffrey. Do you have a little...
I have a little present for you, my latest book, Dame Edna.
What is it? The Gospel According to Judas?
Yes.
Oh. It sounds very spooky.
But you're next.
I'm next.
You're next.
There's your desk. There is your little workstation. Make yourself comfortable. There are quills, there are lovely pens, there's a notebook. Little dictionary there, please.
Where do you want me to begin, then?
Well, Jeffrey, you're meant to be writing, not interrupting. Like me, Ivana, you support charities. Tell me about this pajama thing that you do.
All my friends and everybody around, they go donate the toys, pajamas, whatever it is, and the money, and the money, and the more money, and more money. We put it in the little bigger bag, and we give it to the kids which are, which have no parents, which don't actually own the pair of pajamas. And I'm not kidding now.
Lovely.
It is serious.
PYJAMAS. It's a bit similar to my own charity. I have got a charity, hot water bottles for the homeless, and it's very handy because they can keep soup in them. They can even be used as emergency bathroom facilities on public transport. Then you don't really need to boil the water, do you, Pop?
It seems very practical. Hello.
Now, you have an exciting project in my homeland of Australia, the Barrier Reef Resort.
Oh, I know about the Barrier Reef, Dame Edna. It's just off Queensland in the northern Australia. It has 900 reefs. It has 1,600 square miles of water. It has 3,000...
I'm sorry, Ivana, but he'll finish that off in isolation. Now, But I can't go on for a moment longer because my next guest had a big hit with a song called Constant Craving. And I have had a constant craving to have a little chat with her for a long time now. Please welcome K.D. Lang.
I brought you something from my homeland of Canada, a golden beer mug for your anniversary.
Is there any maple syrup in it or anything? Not yet, a little residue.
Yeah.
Well, it's a horrible thing, but it's the thought that counts.
Oh,
there we are.
Thank
Lovely. You call me Edna. What do I call you? KD?
KD will be fine, yeah.
I'll call you KD.
Yeah.
You're very chic. You're very appealing. I get a lovely vibe from you already. What does KD stand for?
Catherine Dawn.
Catherine Dawn.
Yes.
You know, it must be wonderful to write a song like Constant Craving, for example. I've watched the video of that. And it's interspersed with tramps doing things. You remember that video? Who are they? What's that?
Yeah, just Los Angeles tramps.
They're just Los Angeles tramps doing quirky things?
Doing trampy and quirky things, yes. Actually, it was the director's idea to sort of emulate Waiting for Godot.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's that got to do with constant craving?
I don't know. Nothing, really.
That's probably why we haven't heard much of that director since... No, as a matter of fact, it's a lovely video and it's a great number, but you've done duets with Tony Bennett.
Yes.
More recently.
Yes.
He was a heartthrob of yesteryear. He's a gorgeous person. I've met him several times.
Yeah, gentleman.
Those recordings are beautiful. Now, was he always a gentleman with you?
Always.
He didn't cross the line at any point, did he? He didn't put his hand on the wrong knee by any chance, did he, KD?
Not that I remember, no, Edna.
I'm very glad. Perhaps in a gap in the recording he might have done something naughty. But then... he is a bit too old for that type of thing, isn't he, dear old Tony? You like to pamper yourself a bit, as I do. There's a famous picture, KD, of you, which was on the cover, I think, of Vanity Fair, with Cindy Crawford. Now, I want to have a look at that.
Yeah.
That is Cindy Crawford shaving, or pretending to shave you. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember
A
that.
bit spooky. Did you ever regret that? I like the picture. It's fun.
I never regretted that, no.
You're like me. I don't think you regret much at all, KD.
No, I didn't regret that one.
You know, Cindy came here. She wanted to shave me, Ivana.
Oh,
And then she tried to give my daughter Valma a Brazilian, but I'm afraid she was a bit heavy-handed there. Well, it's sort of playing gender games, aren't they? My daughter talks about it all the time. I wonder whether I should play gender games. What do I have to do? Stand up at the toilet or something? I don't think I'd make a very convincing man, KD. I don't think I would. No way.
I don't think so.
No way.
No.
I think there's too much fuss about this gender business. I mean, there are whole articles, women's magazines, full of it. It's a sort of fad, really. I think women might be too liberated.
You do?
Well, do you get that feeling?
Yes,
I think so. It's all overdone.
definitely.
I think we are liberated. Look at us.
Yes, I don't think we need to liberate any
Here we are,
further.
3 very liberated women
Yeah.
chatting away like this. I'm going to be a bit liberated now.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about something personal. This could offend people. I'm never one to run away from confrontations. My son, Kenny, who made this design, this beautiful dress,
Beautiful.
well,
Beautiful.
he made some decisions, KD, and I embraced them as far as it was possible for me to do so.
Well, you're a liberal, loving woman, is what
I am,
you are.
darling. I am. I surrender to the love in my heart. And I don't think there's anything that 2 intelligent women cannot discuss. There's no taboo. I make no apologies for the words, for the terminology, perhaps the coarse terminology that I'm going to use now. When did you first know you were Canadian? No, I mean, please. I mean that. Would you be offended if I said I prefer you to Donald Sutherland, Margaret Atwood, and Leonard Cohen rolled into one? Because they do often roll into one, I don't know. Would you say you were proudly Canadian?
Yes,
You
I
are.
would, yeah.
Well, there's still a few diehards, you know, who are shocked when you come out proudly flaunting your national emblems.
That's
you
true.
know. Your maple leaf, your mountie, your beaver.
Yeah.
That suffers in translation, Ivana. It does. I accept you.
I got it, okay?
I accept you as a gorgeous Canadian. And I'm a proud Australian. And I think more people would be happier and more fulfilled if they embraced their inner Canadian. I think they
Yes,
would.
I think so.
Have you ever expressed your
think so.
Canadianness in music? Have you ever written a patriotic song?
No.
That's around.
Oh, yes, I have. Big Bone Gal from southern Alberta. Yes, I have.
Big Bone Gal. I love that area, by the way. I know Alberta,
Yeah.
and it's so gorgeous. It's one of the great places in the world, by the way, Ivana. You must go there. You said once you were trying to make art that your mother would like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's funny because we all do that. We all still feel obliged to please our parents all our life long.
Is your mother proud of you?
Well, my mother is in a maximum security. A maximum security Twilight home. It's very hard to know. And she was a little bit inhibiting, she was, but still we have that urge, don't we?
Yeah.
Are your parents with us? Your mother, I think,
My
is.
mom is, yes.
And is she very proud of you, Ivana?
She definitely is.
I bet she is, you darling. Are your parents still with us?
Yes.
They are.
Yep.
Is there anything about you that they disapprove of?
My mother wasn't very fond of the Vanity Fair cover.
She wasn't.
No.
Isn't it extraordinary? How
Yeah.
did she express it? She said,
Every time I brought it up, she would go, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that, Catherine."
And it's funny, you sort of laugh about it, but it stabs you a little.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I find it
Yeah.
does, that parental disapproval. I'll speak to her about that cover.
Yeah.
I will, because
Yeah.
a call from me.
She would be. First, she would be flabbergasted, and then I'm sure you could totally change her mind.
I
about
would. I can turn that woman around.
Yeah.
I can. But Possums, more with KD and Ivana after this interlude. Welcome back, Possums. Welcome back, KD. I'm going to break with my usual protocol. Valmay, it's your big moment now. You've got a little question for KD, haven't you? What is it, darling? What is it? KD, would you like it if I... Valmay, please. This is a family show. Now, that will do. What's this? Looks like a gift. Oh, look, KD. A free voucher admits two to a dry stone walling weekend for two in the Quantox.
What happens there?
I hate to think, Valmay. We can consider that later.
I'll talk to you after the show.
Please, Kate.
She's lovely, your daughter.
She's inside.
Yes.
Well, I think we're going to be doing a little duet later, KD. In fact, I happen to know we are.
I'm excited about it.
I'm very excited about it, and you will adore it. In the meantime, thank you, Catherine
Thank you.
Dawn Lang.
Thank you.
And Parsons, it pains me. It pains me to introduce my next segment. This will horrify you. I thought we'd seen the last of Les Patterson. But the powers that be insist that he has a very important message. I suppose the sooner I play it, the sooner it will be over.
Oh, good day, viewers, and good day, Edna. It's brother Les Patterson here, congratulating you, Dame Edna, on 50 fantastic years. Don't worry, I'm not in the studio now stuffing up your show. Thanks to you, I have turned my life around in a pretty dramatic way. I found my true calling. A new creative outlet that beats chairing the cheese board or being the Australian Minister for the Arts, here in a tranquil monastery in Lithuania. I have started my own production company, making tasteful and informative adult films and fly-on-the-wall documentaries, including my birthday tribute to you, a slightly fictionalised account of your experiences as an attractive Australian teenager in search of the big one. Steady on, Kimmy. Hey, Kim, steady on, will you? I'm talking here. Yes, it's a classy production, Edna, with only the finest young female talent. And this particular scene that we're about to shoot, of which I'm giving you an early preview, will no doubt bring back many happy memories. It's where you and your twin sister, You May Lie, visit the local monastery and realise that you haven't got enough money to pay for the souvenir holy water. And so you have to do the Father Superior a big favour. That's me. Suffice it to say, I play the horny abbot who gives the girls a lesson on how to tug the bell rope. Now, don't be cranky, Edna, don't be. It's going to be a very tasteful rendition of your life. And as a special tribute, I've decided to call it the Dame Edna Sexperience. Are you with me? Cheers, Edna. Congratulations on your 50. Here's to 69. Action!
Oh, please. That man will never change, I'm sorry.
You knew him?
I've met him. He's an Australian diplomat, very senior, and he's an embarrassment to my country.
Oh.
My next guest is not an embarrassment to his country, whatever that may be. He's come to us here at the spa in desperate need of follicle enhancement and complaining of poor circulation. He's that scallywag star of cold feet, James Nesbitt. And Ivana Trump. Oh. Bearing gifts, all of you. That's lovely. Your voice is music to my ears, James. Now, where is that accent from? Is it a Scottish accent? Is it a Scottish accent?
It's Northern Irish.
Northern Irish. Have you found that a help or a hindrance in your work? What is your work, by the way?
This is pretty hard work, but
It's not.
no. This I'm an actor.
Not an actor. Well, a bit of a heartthrob too, by the look of you.
Do you think?
I'm told you think of yourself sometimes as a singer, or you were interested in singing.
No, I sang as a child, actually.
You?
I did. No, the first thing I ever sang, the first competition I ever did, we used to go to Butlins. You know what Butlins is?
The holiday camp.
It's a holiday camp. It's like a holiday camp. Fairly extreme sort of holiday camp.
Oh.
But well, I
more
went
like
to...
a concentration
Yeah,
camp.
well, I didn't want to say. The first competition I sang in was the... Well, I was in two competitions in Butlins and Mosney in Ireland. One was a picture of health competition where I was the first to be eliminated. And then I also sang in the under-6 competition. And
What did you sing?
I sang the theme to Z Cars, if you remember.
No, I don't.
It was John...
How does that go?
Let's
Sing a little bit of it for us.
It goes, Johnny thought he took a notion for to sail the ocean wide. That's all I remember, but But the problem with it was I won, and the prize was a free week the following year, but just for me. And we went free anyway because it was under-6, so my parents had to fork out money again to go the following year.
Who were your singing idols, Jim?
Well, I used to love... I grew up sort of listening to Nat King Cole and Paul Robeson. My parents like that, but also I was into like the Undertones and Slade and the Beatles and anyone really, you know.
And you, Ivana, some Czechoslovakian singer that
Not really. I was big into Elvis Presley.
Elvis.
And Tom Jones. Hello. You would
Hello.
like that.
Good Welsh accent, that, actually.
And what about Barry Manilow? Didn't you have a thing about him?
Well, I was
Come
actually
on.
once... this is my mother and father hearing this for the first time. I once, in a moment of madness in Bournemouth when I was 14 or 13 on holiday, I was caught pilfering a Barry Manilow album from a shop. It was embarrassing enough to be caught, but what was really embarrassing was being caught taking a Barry Manilow album.
That's not really role model behaviour that you've told me about, stealing little Barry Manilow things, but you held a position of authority at school, didn't you? In your school?
Well, I was a prefect.
You were a prefect.
Yeah. But not a great prefect, to tell you the truth. Because the prefects at my school, Coleraine and Inst, were voted for by pupils as well as teachers. And the teachers certainly didn't vote for me. But it was great. I mean, if someone was annoying, you could put them on detention. But I put myself on detention one time to see if the office would be stupid enough to print it up on the board. And I put Nesbitt 1 hour's detention, and they always had to give a reason, and my reason was pretending to be a tractor. I mean, it's stupid, of course, which I hadn't done. But there it was, up on the board, and I had to go to detention. So it actually backfired a bit. Yeah. It was a strange school.
No, but what's lovely is you're still young, comparatively young. And, you see, if you're persecuted, some of those teachers are still alive.
Yeah.
You can get back at them. Ever thought of doing that?
No, once I remember at school, when it was on April the 1st, and it had all been arranged by the headmaster and we had a great flautist at school called Raymond Robinson, but Mark McKee came on to play Flight of the Bumblebee, and he obviously, Raymond Robinson was playing it off stage, so you couldn't see, so I started laughing. And before I knew it, I got the most almighty clatter from a teacher, like a real thump. And he then realised his mistake. But as I walked past him, as we left assembly that day, I said to him, "April Fool, sir." And I've wanted to go back ever since and see him and hit him, actually.
Yes, but is he still alive?
He is alive. Actually, I think he courted my sister for a while, so I better not say his name.
Because if he'd passed away, you could desecrate his grave.
I could. Yeah. Which I'd love to do.
You studied French. Do you still speak French?
Un peu. Yeah, seulement un peu. Mais quand j'ai bu un peu, ça entre. When I've had a few drinks, it comes back.
When did you realise you were bilingual?
I worked in France when I was 16 or 17. And I loved it. I really wanted to sort of like further my French education and become a teacher, but I just, it was the whole idea of doing essays and stuff. I couldn't really bear it. So I'd been at university for a while, and I'd been working as an actor, and I was never going to college, and I was very late doing an essay on Les Mains Sales by Sartre, Dirty Hands. And the teacher told me that, he said, "Where is the essay? You're going to be marked out of 50%. And I said, "Oh, well, I've done it, but I sent it to my mother to be typed, because it has to be typed, doesn't it?" And he went, "Well, no, it doesn't. And what this now means is that you're going to have to go home tonight, find a typewriter and type it." And I went, "Oh, yeah." So I got an old girlfriend with a typewriter to do it, and I did the essay, and at 3 o'clock in the morning I finished, and I had a real sort of defining moment in my life where I thought, that's it. So I went round and woke my sister up in Belfast very courageously and said, "Can you ring Mum and Dad tomorrow and tell them I'm giving up French and I'm going to become an actor?" So.
Must have been difficult because she was in bed with the teacher.
That's...
James, I don't like to touch on your misdemeanours, but you have been a bit of a jailbird, haven't you, darling? A little bit of a jailbird. Briefly.
Very briefly, possibly one time.
A little rap over the knuckles, perhaps?
No, well, no, I wasn't a jailbird. No. But, no, I had an... Oh, dear. I had... no, there was an incident one night, there was... which I assume you're referring to, in Belfast, where I was cut short.
Cut short?
Cut short. I needed to go to the toilet.
Oh.
And there was an...
Please, by the way, do you need to go now?
No, I'm fine at the minute. But,
this is very expensive upholstery here.
There was a distinct lack of toilets in that street that I was on, so... But there were a large number of oak trees, which I made my toilet, and I was caught and... taken down to the police station.
How horrible.
It was an awful moment.
Mind you, we've had another jailbird here. Jeffrey Archer was here. He spent...
It became more of a home to him, though, didn't it?
Well, he spent a little more time getting the vertical suntan, as we call it in Australia. You love Manchester United,
I
the
do,
football,
indeed.
yeah, Manchester United, whatever that may be. And you have said that you love David Beckham, and that if there was a world crisis that could be solved if you kissed David Beckham, you would. What crisis would that be?
Why do I say these things? And well, no, I was a big fan of his when he played for United. And, but, you know, listen, if there was a world crisis, or if there was, like, even a mini crisis, I'd kiss any United player. I adore them and worship them. And, you know, even Wayne Rooney I'd have a go at.
Well, Bossoms, on that note, let's pause a moment for reflection and join me after this brief hiatus for a little more chat with James and that long-awaited duet with K.D. Lang. I want to hear about that show that launched you into the stratosphere, though it didn't really register on my galactic satellite, but it was called Cold Feet. Your role required that you parade in your birthday suit. You had to do one particular nude scene, didn't you? In Cold Feet. Yeah. It was a prickly scene.
It was very prickly. It was...
What did that involve?
It was at the climax of the pilot, where I had at one point said to Helen Baxendale, who played Rachel, that I would do anything for her. And she'd said, would you sing naked on the street with a rose stuck up your bottom? And I said yes, because that's what it said in the script for me to say. But then I came to the day of doing it, and it was pretty, it was frightening, actually. And it was quite, the guy, the dresser, he was an Australian guy, actually, big fella called Craig.
Who had to know him.
Yeah. He had to apply the rose, and it was not a nice job. No one's ever heard of him since, actually. He disappeared. I think it put him off the business for years.
Just as well the rose didn't disappear.
A fair bit of it did, actually.
My husband, Norm, did you know him?
I was a great fan of him, but I never had the pleasure.
He tried that with the Gladiolus, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But it was a failure. His clenching days were over.
Slack.
And I had to change the sheet, so I should know. Cold Feet was a shining jewel in TV's crown, and you were able to blackmail the bosses a little bit over that, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I went to Manchester United, you referred to earlier. They got to the Champions League final in 1999 in Barcelona, and I was really struggling for a ticket. But I knew that Granada, who made Cold Feet, were taking out a whole group of corporates who, you know, wouldn't have known anything about football, but they were going on a jolly. And it was just 2 days before the final, Cold Feet was commissioned again for its second series. So I said I wouldn't do it unless I got a ticket. And then I went to the match, and United won in the last minute, and it was one of the great nights of my life.
That's lovely, and I hope this is another great night in your life,
it is.
Jim.
It's certainly...
Your final show in that series was watched by 10.7 million. That's a lot for this country, KD. And almost as many as the people who watch me. But did the TV bosses give you a lovely congratulatory send-off?
Well, they were very grateful. I think they were quite sad it was over because, you know, the advertisers had been quite attracted to the show. But it was time for it to end. You know, it had come full circle, I think.
Very important not to go on and on and on. James, if only we had more time to sit and share like this, but I can see little K.D. Lang is getting a bit restless here. And she and I plan to do a bit of singing in a moment.
Right.
K.D., darling, why don't you go and get into position?
Okay.
Possums, that time of the evening has arrived. I feel a duet coming on.
Secrets you can't tell.
It's a special brew put fire inside of you.
Anytime you feel danger or fear, instantly I'll appear. I'm every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I'll do it in love. I got it, I got it, I got it, got it, got it, got it. I'm every woman. I'm every woman. I'm every woman. Dame Edna. I'm every woman. I'm every woman. It's all in me.
Thank you, honey. Parsons, I'd like to thank all of my guests, Ivana Trump, Katie Lang, James Nesbitt, Jeffrey Archer, Robin Gibb, and of course my daughter, Val May. And you at home for joining me this evening for the 50th anniversary celebration. A joyous heart always. Good night.
Well, as if Dame Edna hasn't bestowed us with enough showbiz glamour, Bruce Willis is donning his best white vest to walk down the red carpet for the star-studded premiere of his new Die Hard film. And you have a front row invitation at 11:40 tonight after the ITV News next.